The match is about to start.
From Superweekend, now on the money, minus Luda, down the Warmison, Jamel against Hyper, he needs to clear that hill, the boys in yellow, Hyper finds him, shots him down, and 340, 10 more seconds, through that door, the oil money team, all day going to make history, very first land, very first win, 347, 348, now the contest, the boys in three, no way through, and they are going to hold it down, so S, are your champions.
Two sips of Monster Energy. One's just.
A happy boy. Energy. The match is about to start.
From Superweekend, now on the money, minus Luda, down the Warmison, Jamel against Hyper, he needs to clear that hill, the boys in yellow, Hyper finds him, shots him down, and 340, 10 more seconds, through that door, the oil money team, all day going to make history, very first land, very first win, 347, 348, now the contest, the boys in three, no way through, and they are going to hold it down, so S, are your champions.
A happy boy.
Energy.
The match is about to start.
From PS12, now on my game, is waiting for you guys. Now the war machine, Demo against Hyper. He needs to clear that hill. The boys in yellow, Hyper finds him, shuts him down. And 340, 10 more seconds through that door. The oil money's in. Are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win. 347, 348. Now the contest. The boys in lead, no way through. And they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? It's your boy Tonic at Fire, and today we're getting ready for another amazing game of the NPL. Today, different teams are going to be vying for this weekend who is going to come out on top at the end of the day. So the question is, what teams are you guys rooting for? Who do you think is going to be blazing through the set of games today, this weekend? That's the question that we have to ask right now. So we'll be jumping into the game in a couple of minutes, and Dombasha, who is our co-caster, is going to be joining us pretty soon. So we're going to get a little bit of that Kakra Braza action as we hop into the game. All right. So far we got some teams here. The team roster is looking pretty set. And in this survival state, we got Vibe, we got Felpy, we got Jay, we got Harsh Esports, and so many different teams that are going to be going guns blazing. The question right there is, who do you think amongst all of these teams is going to be the team that comes out on top? What's that team that you guys are rooting for? Art and Era 14th, Rio as well are also in the mix of things. And the question is, who is that team? There's also Unsolid Army, Dream Team, as well as ATHL and X also, who are going to be charging up. So we've seen 12 teams so far, and yeah, if I'm to put my money down, I would love to see Unsolid Army and DT, because those are OG teams. Those are teams that you would expect to pop off in games like this. But there's also AE Afro Esports in the mix of things. Okay, I've changed my mind now. I think it's going to be Afro Esports. I mean, just because it's Afro Esports. Anyways, we got RGR as well as IE in the mix of things, and UG with Final Boys and Tinubu and Co, who are going to be vying for the survival stage as well. Then at the end of things, we got Foul Play and dark, dark as well. Dark Knights in the mix of things. So we've taken a look at a couple of those teams, and we'll be going into the games pretty soon. The question right here is who is going to be taking home this set of games? It's going to be an amazing round, and I don't know. I don't know. Remember, guys, to hit that like and hit that subscribe. Make sure that we're supporting 10 and 8E, and we'll see how these games go. That we jump into the game right about now. Okay, so the question here is, oh my God, I'm a bit I need to clean I need to clean my face a little bit because I don't know. This day is going to be absolutely wild. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just taking a look at the list and just trying to see who is going to be my favorite teams for the night. Obviously, we've seen several different teams like AE, on Solid Army, Dark Knight as well. If I'm to place a cast across on anybody, I definitely will be putting that on Solid Army. So they're one of those teams that I will be looking out to watch for, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. We'll see, what's happening in this few games of the night. So yeah, yeah, we'll see. All right, we're getting ready to go. We're hopping into the game right now, and we're going here. So many different amazing things, and going to be done placing right now. This is going absolutely wild. The map is all the way from that southwestern and also that northwestern region at Zaki. And we joined with Afro Esports, who are looking like they're going to be going towards military base. So they're hanging around that northern side. Okay, around so far. We'll see how things are going to match on in this particular game. The parachutes are out and the battlefield is open. Everyone's scrambling for loot, and it's going to be a land of chaos pretty soon as you see all of these teams about to go absolutely, absolutely wild. The survival starts now. The looting is going to be fast and deadly as you can see different teams are going pretty close to each other. It does look like two teams are going to be heading towards Rosehawk. That map and that zone is shifting all the way towards that southern region, so there's going to be a couple of teams who are going to be making their move towards that side right there. So the question now is who is going to have that early fight all the way towards that southwestern region. Of course, we do see several different teams around Ferry Pair and Primax too as well. So we'll keep our eye and see how that one does develop. You do have Rosehawk also quite occupied, so we might see a skirmish going down around that region too as well. So definitely first blood will soon be drawn and the chase will soon be on. The question is who can get that quick knock and snowball things into a full squad wipe. That's the question that we have. It's early circles that are out, and who's going to take that gamble? Who's going to be rotating? Vibe Esports as well is sort of around several different teams around that Rosehawk region, and the question here is who is going to do that? Who is going to make that first move? Of course, definitely we're on board with the boys from Dark Knights, and the question is, guys, on the stream who are watching, who do you think is going to be going guns blazing? Who you guys supporting? The other thing is there. I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess right now. I haven't really seen a lot of action this season. I do need to do a lot of catching up because I've been super busy with work and everything. But so I'm coming in like fresh on like normal MPL seasons where like I've seen every single play and I know how things are moving. This time around it's a bit different for me. It's a bit different. So yeah, I want to see how things are going to shape up in today's games. Regardless, it's going to be a remarkable set of games because some of these teams are one of the best in the country, and we'll see how they begin to shape up. So Dark Knights getting their loot on, and they're getting set and ready to go. They've got their gear but do they have the zone? They're split, you know. Are they no, they're not split wide. They do have some ground to cover it, but we'll see how they play it out with that zone moving all the way towards that southern regions. But they got to get moving. Safe zones do not wait for anyone. It's time for them to start moving and move quite early to get a good spot within that zone. But they've got it quite safe for now. They're around school, and we'll see how things continue to play out for them. Who's going to be scouting as well? Who's going to be waiting to see, what teams they can target and what teams they can go for? Who's got that solid macro awareness? This is that time and that where teams are going to try to see how they play things out. They're going to be scouting around each other, looking for that one opportunity to break the formation of the other teams and get that snipe or get that first knockdown and make their push. All right, so what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? How y'all feeling? Remember to hit that like and hit that subscribe. Get things rolling, get things moving, and we'll see how things continue to play out. It's still early stages for now. If you're just joining the stream, of course, we're still getting a clean start. Teams are just gearing up for now. We're currently just being on Vibe Gaming. We've seen the boys from Dark Knights too as well. Vibe Gaming is currently around school, and I do think that they've got a position within that zone. And the question is, who's going to be holding that number one spot at the end of the first games of this survival? My money definitely is on several different teams of note. Obviously, I do respect Vibe Gaming, Unsolid Army, 4P, Afro Esports to do well. Those are the teams that I know quite well. Foul Play 2 as well is another team that you can't definitely, outlook. We already see it does look like some scouting has already begun. Makers trying to look around to see where either they could find a spot for themselves or they could start some attack. And it does look like some shots are already beginning to let loose as well, as they are trying to see if they can close in on several different teams. The shots from a distance are already beginning to lay down on their sides. We do see Pintwa as well, one of the OG player. And if you don't know who Pintwa is, he used to be one of the players in Outsiders. He's one of the OGs within the scene, all the way from NPL season 1. So just in case you're not quite aware, he is one of those. He's one of the boys who's been here for quite a while. And whenever you spot any of them who still bears the name, because there are still many OG players, but not all of them bear the same name. Some of them have changed their names since season 1. But he's one of those who's stuck with the same name, so we can recognize him and then definitely acknowledge him. All right, so we've seen a little bit of action, not really too much. Definitely no first blood really put down on any single team. We still got 13 teams within the lobby, and they are currently still going toe to toe against each other. And things are still a little bit quiet because no one's making that move, making that push. Not quite yet. They're all still keeping it, a little bit low key for now. We got a couple of shots rained down towards foul play while they were trying to make the rotations into a good spot within that zone. But for now, they're splitting wide within that region where they are a little bit risky but effective. They're trying to see if they can hold some portions within that zone. But already we're beginning to see some shots being let loose at Vibe Gaming. Is already getting into the mix of things too as well. They already beginning to spray and lay down some guys who were pushing onto the region, and Vibe Gaming has got one confirmation. They've got one kill already in their position, and they're laying it loose, as you can see from them. I do believe that was a team who was trying to make the rotation around their region, and you can see that Vibe is trying to see if he can get back into the mix of things and provide that cover for his team. And okay, actually, it does look like he was all alone in school, and there was a rotation that was actually going on, and he might need the support of his teammates as he might be getting pushed right here into this position. So they've lost one player. It looks like 14th has lost one player. Was it 14th or I'm okay. I'm not actually sure who lost a player right now, whether it was 14th or Rio, but I'm gonna guess it was 14th. Okay, yeah, it was 14th. It was 14th. Okay, I've seen that now. All right, so 14 has lost one of the player. Nando's has actually gone down to the boys from Vibe Gaming, and they were looking to see if they can make the rotation spot, but he will fall victim to Vibe as they've taken or they've begun to let things loose right here. He tried as much as possible to dance around the bullets, but it was absolute madness coming in from Vibe as he was able to take that one home and get at least 1 point for his team. I think they can say that they have 1 point in this particular game. The shots continue to let loose too as well. Again, as you can see, that the crazy weirdos are trying to look around and see teams who are rotating around this region. Will he be taking the fight? That is the question, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just going to try to see if he can move out of that position and continue to play things safe for now, and that will be Hamoud and Naruto. They've got to get themselves into that position within that zone. So yeah, you know, the rotations are beginning to happen right now. We still got a whole bunch of players. Only one team has been taken down, as we saw early on from the 14 Gaming. But it looks like another fight is. Wait, is that another fight, or he went down to the zone? It looks like it's either his car blew up, or he went down to the zone. That is the question. But the rotations continue to happen as crazy weirdos are looking to see themselves in a spot too as well right now, and yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit you know, easy for now. Everyone's, you know, just taking it one step at a time. But speaking too soon, of course, you know, just thinking that things were going to be easy for now, and Harsh Esports get themselves into quite some trouble as they got taken down. 3 of the players have been sent back packing into the lobby, and you can see player 4 just leaving the game right there. And it's only HKK who is left. All of a sudden, things were looking quite calm, and all of a sudden, things just turned on its head. And that is how the MPL goes. You think that for 1 second things are being, you know, just a bit calm and docile, but all of a sudden it will turn on its head. And we see another fight going down between the boys from Foul Play and Yuji as they continue to torment themselves. Nezo goes down. This man, 639, is continuing to do his stuff as he is totally going guns blazing. And the boys from Foul Play find themselves in quite a sticky situation too as well, but they will grind themselves out of it as the boys from Yuji will just be looking to move away from that position. And Foul Play starting this game like we had predicted early on and being absolutely outstanding. But we do see Skinny too as well, noticing some players just rotating around his region, and he continues to fire those shots, but he's not able to lay loose. One of his players is currently knocked down, so they've got to make sure that they play quite safe and get him back up into the game if they do want to see them going into the next portions of the zone with a full squad. And it looks like they will be able to get that revive, and that's exactly how things are going to go down in that particular one. So amazing stuff. A knock or two have happened within the game, and you know, several different teams have been, you know, starting this one quite slow, but eventually things have begun to pick up, and you can see now different teams are beginning to, you know, get that ice in their veins and beginning to pick their moments and get those knocks to come through. So already we've seen several different teams begin to feel the hot. We've moved all the way up from 62 players within the game to 52, and we're seeing the action continue within this game. Foul Play leading the charge right there with three eliminations, but it looks like things are not done as they continue to feel the heat too as well, as the boys from UG will be pulling up into this region. They want the smoke. They've got one player down, 639. Who's that man that had the first elimination in the previous game has now begun to feel the brunt and the hurt coming through right there from UG. You can see Tinubu, that man is continuing to torment them. He sends in the nade, he gets the knock, but his health is pretty low. He's in quite a sticky situation, and he will go down. That man, that OG things we talked about before. Now the boys from UG are down to 2 players, but they've got to take this one easy. You can see them trying to see if they can get that revive to get things back up. That man Tinubu, who's currently down, is looking like he's that fragger, and he's got him back up right now. So Foul Play have got to be a bit more proactive in this one. And that man, the Pinto, is not looking quite good for them as they will get sent back into the lobby. Foul Play getting taken out by the boys from UG. Woo! Okay, great, amazing stuff coming through right there from the boys from UG. For 1 second, I thought it was going to be the boys from Foul Play who were going to see that game through, but at the end of the day, UG played that one quite nicely. Tinubu was really aggressive from beginning to the end of that fight as he got through eliminations quite quickly. He popped in a nade into that building, and the boys from Foul Play had stood no chance against the skirmish that was coming up against them. So lovely, lovely one. I do think that was a 1v2 situation, and Tinubu right now was quite amazing in that one. The odds were stacked up against them. It was a 3v4 fight, but my man wrote the script. He was gunning for it. He wanted to make sure that he took the pressure off his team single-handedly, and he did it quite for them. Okay, some amazing, amazing stuff that's going down so far as we've seen the zone moving all the way towards Yesnaya. Now, if you know anything about Yesnaya, it usually would be really, really occupied with several different teams because there's so many buildings to work with in that particular position. And the question now is who is going to get into an early skirmish. We're seeing different teams beginning to converge as Unsolid Army is beginning to feel the heat and the shots are being let loose into the position. We got Jesse in this particular place, and his team is already beginning to feel the hurt. They got no elimination to themselves, and it looks like the confirmation is going to come through right there. Vibe Gaming is the team that's sending on shots onto that particular position, and you can see Ling Long continues to do his thing as they want to get more and more of those players gone down. And you can see Layla looking to see if he can get that revive up. He's taking quite a risk. They've gone down one of the players for Vibe Gaming, so this does present them with some opportunity. Vibe Gaming has got to be quite more aggressive in this particular position as they will be looking to see if they can take out the last player for Unsolid Army. Layla is just looking to pull away from that particular position and get away from Dodger right there. Dobichi, go into the go. Lock my door, lock my door. Look, close my door, close my door. Close my door, close my door. Close my door. Okay, so okay, so quite some interesting set of games that have gone down so far. We've seen Vibe Gaming, just try as much as possible to keep several different teams away, and they have succeeded in doing just that. As kept them at bay for now. The shots flying and the shots connecting, and the players are getting dialed in. And the final circle is fast approaching, and it's definitely going to converge around that region in Yasnaya. But Vibe Gaming looking to see if they can make this place their home. Everyone's holding their breath for now, trying to see if they can find a good spot. Definitely because position is key, but the zone definitely is moving quite quickly. UG also coming into the mix of things too as well, as they're looking to see if they can get that great spot to call their own. All right, Unsolid Army coming in and getting caught in the open. It was a tough spot for them to recover from, and they did find themselves in this situation right now with only one player left. But now here comes the boys from No Rivals, also deciding to go toe-to-toe against the boys from Vibe Gaming, and Quexer has got to be quite careful in this one, but we do know him to be one of those players who is a bit more adventurous, if we can call it that. They do have 3 eliminations to themselves, so they're also, being a bit more aggressive in this particular game as well as Vibe Gaming. But for the amount of action we've seen from Vibe Gaming, you would think that they would have more than 2 kills. I actually thought they had more than 2, but it does look like up against Unsolid Army, they got only 1 of those eliminations. It probably was another team who was dealing a lot of that damage. So we got a couple of teams just like we predicted within this particular zone. As you can see, 4P's also in the mix of things. Vibe Gaming as well. Rio is also pulling in with Princess, leading that particular rotation. They're heading all the way up towards that region where 4P is currently at, and you can see them now beginning to deal the damage onto them. Solo has dropped down Princess, just as we saw and we probably expected. And teams are just lighting up over and over again. Outstanding team so far. So absolutely amazing stuff coming through right here. As you see, all of these teams just being outstanding within this game, and sorry guys, I'm just checking something out. Okay, so all right, things continue on as they have been. As you can see, you know, 14s are now getting into the conversations as well, trying as much as possible to see if they can pick out several different teams. But there's action at every single corner, and you see the boys from 4P as well, trying to see if they can take out several different teams already rotating around their region. And it's that time, boys. It's that time, boys. Arch Creed and his boys also about to get that taste of that nade coming through right there from Skinny, but it looks like he's got the wrong floor. And he continues. He's not letting up. He continues to send on those shots. It looks like his boys want to make that push onto that particular building, but there's also a third party that might be rotating around it. You can see that shot being let loose right there by Skinny as it drops down K. It looks for that one, and he will get the confirmation to come through, but he's got to turn his sights back into the fight as his boys are making that push onto Art. But here they come. Here they come, trying to see if they can get them down, drop down into the ground, and they are continuing on with that late move. This is one of those times, man, it's unbelievable that they continue to put them down, and Art is feeling the heat, but Solo will get dropped down. They tried as much as possible to see if they can hold up against the boys from 4P, but they are not relenting. Now here comes the cavalry as they need to get their players back up. It's just two of them who are up within this battle region, but UG is making that push just in time. Can they get the revive as quickly as they can? And they do have just a few seconds to get this one sorted out. Come on, man, get your guy back up. Get your guy back up. Come on. Oh my goodness, you had the time. I don't know what, guys. I think he had time. UG wasn't pushing yet. What do you guys think? I think 419 had time there. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like 419 could have gotten him back up. That is my thought. That's my thought, guys. I feel like there was enough time. I don't know, but it is what it is. I guess he probably to give him some credit, he probably heard something else, and he was like, you know what, I think someone's pushing and I'm not gonna get pro man. But I feel like they had cover and they could have gotten him back just in time. But it is what it is. They find themselves now in a situation where they've lost one man. They've got 8 eliminations, so they're probably leading when it comes to the amount of eliminations any team has got. They're still doing quite well. We've still got 10 teams within the lobby as the shots are continuing to be let loose. And of course, just like you would expect from a game that's ending up against Naya, you would expect a lot of teams to be, you know, right there within those buildings and find their own spot. And the nades definitely will come into play in this particular position as several different teams continue to make their push. AHL Storm continue to look and see as several different teams are trying as much as possible to see if they can hold on to their life, as all of these teams are trying as much as possible to see if they can rotate into that zone. And here comes AE trying to pull up again, and Storm will lay the shots down as we get that confirmation once again. We just wait for the right moment, but the question is, he doesn't have the zone. Okay, it's just a few centimeters away. That's not much. They can find a way to rotate, but 4P is still within the conversation too as well. They're trying as much as possible to see if they can get into that zone at the same time, keep the boys from UG at bay. They're all the way towards that northern side of the zone, so they'll look to make the rotation. Whoever wins that fight will have a clear path into a position within that particular space, but it's either going to be the boys from UG as well as 4P who will be coming in all the way from that position. The rest of the teams are currently sitting around that southern side. As you can see, Dark Knight as well. Trusting is in quite a sticky situation as he is getting put down to the ground, and he was down to pretty much what was 1 HP. The push definitely coming through right there from the boys from NR, but it looks like they decided to just hold things out for now, but they're coming quite close. Quexon's pulling up into the vicinity, and he will get that elimination to come through and take out another team as well again, and NR with their thing. But now we turn our sights onto the boys from 4P who've lost Skinny. Skinny's going to now with elimination before he got taken out. But now we turn our sights back again onto no rivals. Quexa continuing to be absolutely amazing in this game, and she's got 4 eliminations to his name, and they continue to build up on the momentum. They've got one player down, and LeBron might be in quite a situation and gets sent back into the lobby. AE trying to keep them at bay in this particular game, and they are being absolutely outstanding. It is party after party in every particular region of the game. 4P feeling the key, feeling the brunt, and right now they'll be thinking to themselves, hey, you know what, if we can just get the placement, then this game would not be lost on us. And then into that position could actually turn things around, but look at that! Look at that precision coming through right there from Hamoud. Looking to see if he can get that snipe to come through, but they were not. They were not. And Quexa just evading a nade coming through from Chris in that particular position in that building, and it is party after party at every single region. UG going toe-to-toe against the boys from Crazy Weirdos as well, and Tinubu and Cole looking to see if they can find their moment in this particular fight. And it's all down to very little margins right now. We're down to 6 teams, and Vibe Gaming as well beginning to feel the heat coming through right there from 4P as Solo guns down another guy. Vibe Kenny and his boys will get eliminated from the game as 4P continue to do their thing. Madara, Crazy Weirdos as well continue to hold on in this game. We're down to 5 teams. UG picking the moment quite well and saying right now's the time to get on and push on to that position where Hamoud is holding. You can see them just taking it easy. Tinubu goes down. Hamoud doing his thing. Crazy Weirdos linking up to their name, and they are doing quite well. He jumps out. We can see if he can get them from behind, and that's exactly how he's gonna take that one. And he does need support coming through from his teammates. And here comes the cavalry to 1v1. You can win this particular fight. Okay, we do have Naruto too as well. Well, Naruto finds himself in quite some trouble coming through right there from a third party. And it does look like the boys from AE will actually provide UG with some breather, with a bit of fresh air right there, as they did take out the last guy. And now AE also looking to see if they can make their way into that zone. Crease is currently being gone down, so it's just God who is left in this position. Here it comes, NR, Quecha, now feeling the heat too as well, as they've got the zone. Quite unlucky. 1 goes down, 2 goes down too as well. And Solo the man sitting down with 11 eliminations to his name. He's been that man. He's got that clutch factor. You know, they needed a hero, and he definitely has delivered under pressure. But he continues to break records in this game, sitting down with 11 eliminations. He's got that ice in his vein. That man is being absolutely outstanding. And the question right now is, will 4P be able to clutch the game? UG is going to sit down with 2 players, so it's a 2v2v1. Afro Esports have got 1 player, UG have got 2. So it's all down to very elite margins right here. The zone converging, the question is, who has got this one in the bag? UG sending out those legs, looking to see if they can capitalize and get a knock to come through. And 419 in quite a sticky situation. That nade does quite a little bit of damage. But Team also as well finds himself in quite a situation. And God can be a thorn in the side too as well, coming in from behind. You can see that zone really draining it. He's trying to watch them out, but he do get that knock to come through right there on 419. And looking like they can seal this one through. God trying to come in from behind. He does quite some damage, and now he turns things around, and it looks like the boys from 4P will seal this game through, and it will be a winner chicken dinner for 4P. What a ton of events that we have just seen, guys. What a ton of events. Woo. Okay, so just at that very last moment, I did think to myself that it was going to be the boys from, you know, UG who were going to win that particular one, but 4P somehow managed at the last second. My man Solo took that game by the neck, and he got 12 eliminations to his name. Absolutely outstanding game so far. I mean, he was definitely holding the entire game hostage and just dealing damage end to end. But for a very split second, it looked like the boys from UG had the upper hand as they got that knock through on Solo's teammate. But coming in from behind, I do believe it was God from AE who took down one of the players from UG, and that allowed Solo get into a 1v1 situation. You can just look at the amount of eliminations that we saw in this particular game. Absolutely outstanding, as we saw 58 eliminations coming through, and it was just one of a kind in this particular game. So what do you guys think? What do you think, or who did you predict was going to win this game? Was it 4P? Because I'm sure that they were one of my predictions. Okay, I'm sure that they were one of the guys I was rooting for. Obviously, they've got OGs like Skinny as well as Solo, doing a lot of damage in that particular game. Amazing stuff. But you can't not look away from the boys from UG2 as well, who got 8 knocks, 12 eliminations to their name, and they were also outstanding. But you can never, you can't end this analysis without talking about the main man, 4P Solo, who finished this game with 12 eliminations and 4 assists. Okay, that man was not just dealing damage, but he was also getting assists too as well, and making sure that he was getting his teammates out of several tough situations. And definitely you can see in this particular game the top 5 fraggers of the game, but you can see the distance between Quexa and the rest of the guys, between Solo and the rest of the guys within the lobby. That's not to say that they're not great players. I mean, Quexa was outstanding. The players from UG2 as well were putting in the work. You can see 4 eliminations each from the 3 players, Ping, Tinubu, as well as Benin, doing great stuff in this particular game. But I mean, you just have to hand it over to my man there, Solo, who just took the game by the neck. All right, so what does that mean at the end of the day for the leaderboard of the night? You do see the boys from 4P sitting down with 24 points at the end of this game. Definitely a lot of those eliminations. Now think about this. Now it might be just a crazy start, right? But even with just the points Solo got alone, they would be in top 4. They will be in 4th position. That's crazy. They will be above Afro Esports. So that goes to show the amount of points he single-handedly got for his team. And what that means for them at the end of the day is 27 points in that number 1 spot, followed by UG with 18 points and no rivals in 13. Afro Esports and Vibe Gaming 2 were going wild in this particular game, and Crazy Weirdos and Foul Play in 6th and 7th position. Unsolid Army and the rest of the team have got to step things up in the next couple of games. We still got 3 games to go, guys, so don't go nowhere. All right, guys, so some amazing games that we've seen so far, and it has been quite outstanding as we saw several different teams just go guns blazing. It started off a little bit slow. We saw a little bit of knocks coming through from Vibe Gaming and Co. But we'll be moving into highlights pretty soon, and we'll catch you guys in a couple of minutes for the next game.
The match is about to start.
From Superweekend, now on my days, is minus Ruger, now the war machine, Devil against Hyper, he needs to clear that hill, the boys in yellow, Hyper finds him, shuts him down, and 340, 10 more seconds, through that door, the oil money team, all they going to make history, very first land, very first win, 347, 348, now the contest, the boys in three, no way through, and they are going to hold it down, so S are your champions.
Bold miracle. Two sips of monster energy. Monstrous.
All right, guys, we're on again, and we have Priest with us right now. So
We're active, we're active,
Oh,
we're
no.
active, we're active, we're active, we're active, we're active. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. It is the Nigerian Pro League Season 8. It is the Amateur Space, the survival stages. Top 10 teams will go on to the finals. We already got 6 teams in the finals from Super Weekend. Fire, we saw the first game, 4 portions, was doing a madness. But outside of that, you know, we saw about Jack Gaming, we saw a couple of teams rise to the occasion. What are you expecting in Miramar?
I mean, I'm expecting to see teams like UG, you know, step things up. I was quite impressed with their gameplay. I thought they could have won it if not for AE. AE was just like that last moment thorn in the side, because they could have gone in a 2v1 situation against Solo, and I think they might have taken it. But that last moment from God just took them down, and it just affected their last final push. So I think they have it in them. So if I'm to place my money on anyone, I'll say I think UG might step things up and learn from their mistake.
For ourselves, we are back in the cut. 16 teams, 62 players, but only 10 spots in the final of the Amateur Split. That is where the prize money will be played for come Friday this week. But for the time being, 4 portions have started the game really, really nicely now, and all things are looking like they are going to be in their favor moving forward. Interesting play zone. Think path we've got from that southwestern side all the way to the east side of Shopstop. Fire, what do you think the rotation pattern should be, you know, for a flight path like this? Do you expect teams to, you know, try to play it a little bit towards the center? Or should they play in the south, play in the north, or should they just find the high ground? Because Miramar, there's different type of strategies you can apply. But it seemed like, you know, 4 portions, you saw what they did in Erangel, you saw what Omega Gaming did in Erangel as well, you saw foul play, you saw all these teams. Now, do you think they should apply more of the same in a different map, or should they switch things up or switch things up a little bit?
I think definitely the flight path is going to determine how teams, you know, play this one. Obviously, get into the zone quite early. We saw that favor a couple of teams who prioritize getting into the zone as quickly as possible. And 4P was one of those teams that definitely did that, getting into Yasnaya in the previous one. So more of the same for me would be, you know, take your positions quite quickly and get into that amazing spot. You know, everyone's got to play things quite smart, because when it comes to gun skills, they are all pretty even.
Well, Couldn't have said it better myself. They are all pretty even. And looks like the action has already started to kick off. And Athlete Game will be sending shots all the way towards the guys from Dark Knight. Frostino is not going to be feeling too frosty. He's back in the lobby already. Some people are in the air. Some people are back in the lobby.
Yes.
Some people are in the air. Some people are back in the lobby. What does that tell you? Survival stage is no joke. These guys are hustling, man. They hustling. Everybody's hustling now. You can see Blessing just checking out the toilet there to see if anybody's hiding in there, but unfortunately, there's nobody. But Athlete Game starting really, really strongly. It was a very, very good, very, very good start from them. Dark Knights had no idea what hit them. The bullets are starting to fly. M249 is in Storm's hand. Can he utilize it though? They are in a good spot, but they have a little bit of a division going on there. Abubakar playing off the left-hand side. And Dark Knights who have to be very careful here. But Athlete Game are in a good spot. They are sending shots all around the entire place. Abubakar has not moved a muscle just yet. But now this is very contentious, fire. In a scenario like this, 4v3, you've gotten one elimination. You know you have the numbers advantage. But now you are in a compound. You're a little bit of a compound, a little bit of a building. There's not a lot of utilities that's gone around. What do you want to do? Do you want to take the fight? Do you want to make sure you eliminate your opposition and have the entire place to yourself? Or, give that chance that, okay, let's tactically look at this. What do we want to do here? What do we want to, encourage from this situation? Athlete Game, what do you think is the right decision for them to make in a scenario like this?
I think obviously that elimination could snowball into a full squad wipe if they play a bit aggressive in this particular one. They've got to, just capitalize on their advantage right now and try to, see if they can identify where one of the players from Dark is and try to make that push as quickly as they can. Otherwise, we could see a situation like in the previous game where, I'm forgetting what team it was, but I think it was actually UG against Foul Play, where Foul Play was on the it was actually UG because it was Tinubu who got two kills there, where they had just three players and they somehow were the aggressive ones, but they managed to take them out. I think they've got to be aggressive now. They got the numbers on their side, so they should basically just isolate one player and make that push.
Yeah, I think you're right. Isolating one player would be very ideal right now. Rizzo is trying to get a little bit of an inkling, a little bit of a corner here, but Athlete Game cannot afford to make that mistake. And now they do have his sight line on him, and he does get the first spray, and he does get the first drop. But surely they have to make the push. They have to make the push. And No Panic is already making the push. Circles off over to that left-hand side. And Mando as well tries to peek through. Hopefully doesn't circle back, but he does take the shot. And Rizzo's caught into that open space. Shalom gets knocked away. Grenade is tossed out, but Mando doesn't move. He has aura. He knows that that's not a frag grenade. He'll take the shot.
There's no way.
And the first shot
There's
is
no
good.
way.
And the second
No
shot is
way.
good. Oh,
No
Rizzo
way.
is clutch.
Bro.
One by one,
Oh.
one by one, Rizzo will show you why he's got the Riz. And Dark Knights will rise again. An Athlete Game crumble under the pressure. This could have been easily Dark Knights game, but they started to file out one after the other. And again, they get hurt in the process. 3 eliminations apiece. It is not the best way to start at all.
My goodness, my man was playing like a seasoned veteran, 1v3, and man is still standing. I mean, my goodness, talking about delivering right there. Rizzo, the MVP, definitely living up to his name as he got those 3 eliminations to himself. My goodness, I mean, see, when he popped that smoke, I knew man was cooking. Yeah, I knew man was cooking, but for him to actually get the knock and confirm and take bro, that definitely is a highlight. 1v4, bro. 1v4. Oh my
Clutch.
god.
What a clutch. Rizzo. Riz. That guy was really trying to run away, dog. He was really trying to run away from that engagement. I mean, and the funny thing is he didn't even engage them. He didn't even get into the engagement when his teammates were getting fried. It's the same thing we're talking about. When they were going for it, they should have just all gone together. There was no need for one person to be outside. Great was outside, not involved in the build-up. And again, he gets caught out. But Dream Team on the other side, They are looking for a way through here. They might be trying to back things up. That's a good grenade from Devil over to the other side immediately, but it's not enough. Chris goes for the third drop, but Uzi starts to clap, but again he peeks out, and that's a beautiful shot from Devil. Peeks over the top hand side, but doesn't connect. The S12K and the DBS again. He will trade off, and Afro Esports once again will
Okay.
clutch. Dream Team will only give them nightmares. Unfortunately, it's a very hard, very, very hard knock. Dream Team once again fire. They don't turn up. They get no points. Why?
Oh, quite sad for them. At some point, I thought they were actually cooking, but that man Swat was absolutely dependable. He waited and he struck at the right moment, making sure that he took out the last guy. And none of his teammates were lobbied or sent back into the lobby. So I mean, he played that one quite well, and a great job from AE as we would expect. I mean, you can say that Dream Team played that bad, but they fought really hard, and it was Afro Esports, so they're hot right now. What do you expect?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're hot right now. They are what is hot in the market, but they are still paling in comparison to Four Potions because those guys are currently sitting on
Mm-hmm.
27 points. 27 points. It is not. It is no easy feat. It is no easy feat at all. We've seen how dangerous these teams can be. We've seen how dangerous these teams can get, but now we need to see more. We need to see a lot more from these teams trying to get into that top 10. Currently, as it stands, Unsullied Army is in there. Ragnar just behind them. Arab T as well, 14th Gaming, Harsh Esports. These guys need to step up to the plate. Rio Esports as well. They need to step up to the plate. They need to do something extra special to get themselves into that top 10 because that is where you need to be right now. But, for those teams that are sitting at the top, Umoja Gaming, no Rivals, Afro Esports, Vibe, Dark. What do you think they should do to keep this up? Because I feel that this Miramar has the potential to change what the leaderboard is going to look like. But again, it's also very dicey because of those teams that love to play slow, Harshi Sports on Solid Army,
Mm-hmm.
playing by the edge of the circle, coming in from the northern side. There's a big chance that there's a lot of engagements that's going to happen on that northern side. Rio
Absolutely.
Esports, Foul Play, Vibe, on Solid Army, Harsh. There's a big chance that all of them or one of them will collide with the rest, opening a catastrophic cascade of third
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of those teams trying as much as possible to see if they can play that edge circle, hoping for clean fights. But as Kama would have it, they do have several different teams circling around the region. And not just that, the zone has taken control too as well, as it's moving all the way towards that southern region. So one, they have to deal with several different teams around their position and get into skirmishes with them, but they also do have to rotate into that zone too as well. So sometimes just playing it safe is not probably, the best thing to do. You have to get into fights. You have to take out teams around you and be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about being aggressive going forward. But foul play have started quite nicely. They did get some points in the last game, but this could be the game that changes everything for them. Pintua looking for a way through. Rio Esports on the other side as well. They could have a very, very strong push
Hmm.
going forward here, but it looks like Umoja Gaming will set their sights on Arab T. They will be trading off there with the Mini. Tinubu's going to have to think about this one again going forward, but it doesn't look like much will be going on. Egungun has been knocked away. Another shot doesn't lock in. And Umoja Gaming could be in some trouble here because Arab T, they do love their close quarters. They can play better in the close quarters, but again, these shotguns are starting to trade off. The DBS is immediate. Naruto is going to be the victim. A little bit of a circle, jerk into the back, and Egungun is exposed, but immediate back covered, and will send the Scar L and send bullets all the way through. And here comes Berlin now, trying to see through again. S12K in hand from Atarudo. Can he hold on? They are looking very good. Asmir peeks out. He's going to get dropped away again by Tunubu, the president, all the way on the other side. Moja Gaming have turned this around into a potential 2 versus 2, and now it is a 2 versus 1. And Moja Gaming will use the
Mm.
advantage of the extra man, and they will trade it off. And now they will be in a 2 versus 1. Harshi Sports, on the other hand, like we said, Fire, there's a lot of engagements happening in the northern side, and it looks like that's going to be the case for a while going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but speaking of that, we just tailor back a little bit into UG. I mean, I was hoping to see a bit more from them in this game, but things just went sideways between them, and I do believe that was Art. And things are not looking quite for the team that I was hoping was going to be, for Tinubu and his boys to be, on top of their game in this particular one. But we'll see how things pan out for them in the next zone. But now we turn our sights onto Harsh Esports and Foul Play. Now, Foul Play didn't have quite the game we would have hoped for in the previous one. What do you think about them? Is they're one of those teams who, in previous competitions, right, we've seen them, go from being really good to dropping off a little bit, going and getting a little good again, and dropping off. What do you think is that thing that has not just, taken them to the next level?
Yeah, I think it's just the inconsistencies in their
Mm,
rosters, because the roster that's playing right now is not the one that we've seen for the most part of the tournament. There's been a lot of in swinging back and forth within the team, so I think it takes a little bit away from them, and that puts them into very, very, very tricky positions there. But I think with the roster they currently have, they have a big, big chance of doing something special, especially in a Miramar game. But the way it looks, it's all about positioning for them. I think they play better when they get into much more solid position. Atarodo on his own lonesome trying to pop in. Again, jump shot over into the corner, but he doesn't get the job done. He's very low on HP, and it takes a little bit there, but he chases it, and he does close. He waited for the reload, and that is that high IQ play you love to see. Umoja Gaming just couldn't hack it against the guys from Arab T, and that will be a big, big sigh of relief from Arab T, but the play zone is going to be coming fast, and they need to be running into a better spot. But four portions looking very good, looking very gel. They are playing a little bit closer to the zone there, but I think
mm,
they have a strategy that's trying to work through here. But it looks like Ragnar will set them through, and Roman has been called out. Ragnar being one of the newer teams on the block here, Fire. They've actually had
mhm.
an amazing tournament. They've had an amazing turnout, but for a new team, Fire, what do you think is the best advice to give to new teams that's trying to break into the NPL? Against these OG teams that have been in the NPL for the longest period of time.
I mean, you're a new team. You have nothing to lose. Just be wild. Just go wild. Just make as much impression for yourself as possible. Just keep on, doing what you're doing. If you end up going out, I mean, you were a new team. If you end up qualifying into the finals and getting into that later stages of the NPL, or maybe even finishing in top three, or even winning the NPL, then kudos to you. But you're a new team. You can take as much risk as possible.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that one. When you're a new team, you can take as much risk as possible. And it looks like Ragnar trying to make the same race, but 639 runs straight into the Molotov cocktail. Had no idea that that was the play, and it worked out perfectly. And that one will pass into the corner, but Pinto is there immediately. Puts the suppressor on the S12K. Will crash immediately as well. And foul play will hold on for the next run. But Nezo is there. Jace team will crash in as well and steal that one away. That would be a big, big potential elimination for them if they can take away this position and hold it for themselves. But Harshi Sports looking very comfortable here. But can they play closer to the guys from Foul Play? Playmaker 639 and Pintua looking very good, trying to hold this out defensively. But again, they're too far out. They're just too far out of the play zone. This is going to hurt them if they don't have vehicles that can transport them, relatively very quickly into the other side of the play zone.
Man, it has been an amazing set of games since we've seen several different teams just go absolutely guns blazing against each other. But now here comes No Rivals up against the boys from 4P. And it does look like they have one of the players. They've exchanged a couple of shots coming through. Quexa and Cole beginning to feel the heat too as well as 4P's doing some damage. They've got one player down. And it does look like this stage might actually turn things around too as well. No Rivals, left run coming into the mix, trying to see if he can get a knock and confirmation as he does get those. Woo!
2016 LeBron. LeBron.
Jeez.
Put this
Okay.
clip on Brownify. Put that clip on Brownify, dog. Put that clip on Brownify. I want to see 2025. And Liquid Metal will come in and pick up the scraps. You gotta love it though. No Rivals are showing us exactly the real No Rivals. We've been watching them, struggle a little bit in the previous stages of this tournament. They struggled in the league stages. They struggled in the Super Weekend, but they will not be struggling today. They will stay active 10 times out of 10 and play a 419, almost showing us why his name is 419. They're almost getting dropped away. All it takes is one touch. I think his leg is exposed, right? Because I think he might just be getting dropped off. But now he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Vibe Gaming just behind him. I think he can turn and and focus on the guys from Vibe going forward. But I think that puts them into a very interesting position. And he has been spotted. Kenny will be the
Oh,
one with the final blow, and that's going to be good night for Harsh.
yeah, definitely harsh feeling the heat coming through, and Vibe Gaming definitely putting in that death blow into the boys from Harsh Esports, and that will be the end of the game as they join several different teams such as DT, who have been sent backpacking into the lobby. But I mean, this game going quite as you would have predicted. I mean, with 4P being taken out, one of the heavy hitters in the game, this is probably beginning to go sideways. Priest.
Yeah, looking like he's going upside down, sideways, all over the whole place, man. These guys from Vibe Gaming looks like they might just be chow decking and Uber eating and delivering themselves to the guys from Foul Play. Looks like that's going to be the case. I think it would be ideal for them to make rotations, but no, they want it. Oh, I'm loving this. They want it. They're not back at all. They want to deal with Foul Play. But now, how much of it can they do, though? That's a
Hello?
good grenade. It's a couple of inches
Yeah.
wide, not enough. But Ling Ling is going to commit to this, but immediately Pinto will break the shield, and that's going to be 1 for 2. And it got another grenade over to the other side. Too shy out, doesn't get the job done. But Pinto is loving this. Blessing and Vibe have been knocked down. The pickups, it would be time. Kenny peeks out, he takes a hit as well. And unfortunately, Playmaker will take yet another hit. Foul play. Is that guy about to nade himself? Oh, that would have been something else. What is with these nades, dog? But Kenny just does get the drop on Playmaker, and unfortunately, he does get knocked away. That is the numbers advantage working overtime for
Ooh.
the guys from Vibe. Playmaker going back to Pintua to get himself picked up. Foul play struggling really hard to keep this up. If Vibe can keep their numbers up, this could be the opening they've been looking for. Potential for 5 eliminations is here, or 4 eliminations rather. But Foul play need all the help that they can get right now. The play zone is hurting, and they are very low. They've been spotted. Headshot over to the other side. Playmaker gets dropped off for the second time. Pintua peeks out to the corner, and that's going to be good night. Vibe taking the initiative, and they will eliminate Foul play, but not without Foul play putting in some nice points in there as well. And now Unsullied Army turning their sights onto Afro Esports.
Oh my god. My man dancing through bullets right there. But now we turn our sights onto Crease, of course, who's going up against the boys from UA. And he did have some support coming through from his teammates. They currently are sitting down with 6 eliminations, but they do have only 3 players in this position. And that nade might be what will turn things around for them as they can get that confirmation or take down another guy from UA. UA seem to have the advantage for just a moment until they were able to reduce the numbers and take down one of the players. Jesse currently knocked down, and now he does need the support coming through from Layla and Saz to somehow hold their own in this game. And Chris getting the knock right there, but the return fire takes him down to his wall, and now they've reduced things to what I believe is a 2v2 situation. And they will try as much as possible to see if they can hold things out. But there's also, I do believe, some third party that's coming through. God has got to be quite careful. We saw him playing spoiler in the previous game in that final moment against UG. Will he be able to take out the last players from UA? That is the question. But he finds himself in quite some trouble as well, too, as well as SARS takes him down. And Priest, my goodness, AE not having quite
Wow.
the time.
Wow, SARS on the beat for real. SARS on the beat for real. Never would I have thought in a million years that Unsullied Army would be able to hold off Afro Esports in a hillside engagement, but looks like that's going to be the case. 14th Gaming did pull up to that scenario as well and get a piece of the action for themselves. I'm not sure Unsullied Army is going to survive that one, but they are deep in the blue zone, and it is phase 5 of the circle. This is the worst time to be in the blue. Afro Esports down to 1, but it looks like they will be surviving at least for the time being. 14th Gaming will take the initiative and start their move going forward. Vibe now setting their sights onto the guys from Jay's team, and that's a good grenade over to the other side. It does connect a little bit there. Furimuck and Nezo working hand in hand there. They are moving around, and Ling Ling might be spotted out. That's another grenade into the corner. It does hurt Furimuck, and he's going for the push. He knows he's low on HP, and he's not spotted.
Ooh.
Had no idea that Nezo was there, but Nezo's gonna get dropped away. Vibe vibing out, and Furimuck will not siege. Vibe will hold on. 6 eliminations. Now that is how you turn things around.
My man was dancing through bullets. It was down to pretty much almost 1 HP, but he still managed to just juggle through to strafe around and get that final elimination. Not against any team, but against the boys from UG. So that's quite some feat coming through from him. But now we turn our sights on to Princess and Rio. They're just two in this particular game. It's Phoenix and Princess holding things down, receiving shots coming through from 14th. And trying as much as possible to see if they can hold their own. They're down to 7 teams right here in this particular game. We'll be curious to see how things continue to shape up. But with the boys from UG out of the game, 4P out as well. I mean, how things are going. Rio, who's your money on now? I said Rio Priest, sorry. Who's your money on? I mean, I'll see
Well, I
Rio.
mean,
So,
I mean, there's real esports here, so why not?
yeah.
Why not? Why not? But they're currently sitting very, very far at the bottom of the leaderboard. This is more. This is looking very, very much like 14th Gaming. The last time I saw them perform very well, it was in a Miramar game, and they did win a chicken dinner against the likes of Unsullied Army in the final third. But now my eyes are going to be on them going forward. But Atarodo will not stop. He will not stop at all. He continues to mount pressure onto the guys from Rio Esports, and it looks like it's going to be the last one. A grenade perfectly locked from Master Ugwe from 14th Gaming. Can he make this one clutch? It's a little bit too far out. The play zone does hurt again. On Solid Army now down to just one. SARS on the beat will be beating by the zone, and Phoenix will have to circle himself inside of that little box. But hopefully it will work something for the onslaught of their position. Phoenix has it. Compromise, he's spotted. Over to the other side, take the first hit. Oh, and that was very close. Uguay almost getting dispatched, but the S12K to the rescue. 14th Gaming will take this position and one step closer to that chicken dinner. 2016 LeBron from No Rivals holding up on that northern side is looking very, very good for them. Ataru also on the other side. 4864 from Unsullied Army also in that western position, but I think he has been spotted and he would be dispatched by 14th Gaming over to that western
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, you can see that Ugwe really, really wanted that elimination. Like the way he was going for it, he was like, nah, no one is stealing this one from me. I'm getting this knock. They've been yabbing me since I haven't gotten one elimination, so I must get this. You feel the desperation in him. But now we turn our sights onto 14 Gaming. They've got Jesse, who is right around them too as well. They're trying to make sure that he does not play spoiler to them. And they're looking to see if they can take him out of the game and have this entire position to themselves. If they do take down Jesse, they'll be down to just 3 players within the zone, and those nades flying through as well too, making it quite dangerous. And he's trying to go for that kill, and that will be the end for Unsullied Army as they get sent back into the lobby by 14th Gaming, and they've still got several different teams to deal with. NR, Liquid Metal, LeBron, and Co are still within the mix of things as they've got one of the players gone down by Atarodo and Priest. I mean, we might call this for you. We might call this for you. What do you think?
I mean, it's an amazing turnout, that we've seen. But this is more of a 24K link up with Uguay as well, and Nando. 14th Gaming are looking stronger by the second. They have everywhere locked in. Unfortunately, Madra has been discovered and sent back into the lobby, and now it's 14th Gaming. They are looking for a way to breach, and every single position has been cornered here. And now he has to try again. His grenade might get thrown out, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. He might try again to lock that one in. That's a perfectly launched grenade.
Ooh.
But Nando manages to escape by the skin of his teeth. LeBron still trying to hold on. And he does have the grenade. He's tossing it all over the place there, but unfortunately, he can't seem to connect it through. Atarodo still very much a thorn in the side for all of these teams.
Ooh.
Liquid Metal is going to be feeling very solid. The way that grenade is going to drop on his head. LeBron tries again into the corner, but no, they will overwhelm, and that will be good night for them. 14th Gaming. This, like I said, is their type of game. This is what they love to do. Atarodo all by his lonesome, not inside of the zone. If I were him, I would just die to the zone. If I was him, I would just, give my life for the benefit of the game. And that is just what it is. But 14th Gaming looking very, very comfortable here. And I think this is going to be their chicken dinner.
mean, are we going to see one of those clutch moments? Well, definitely
No,
not
you're
going to
not.
happen.
No, you're
Nah, nah,
not.
nah. No, we're not. But I mean, Atarodo played that one quite well. As in, he got 4 eliminations for his team, and he kept on making that push over and over again. And we could see them getting that second place for Arab T. So great stuff coming through from all of these teams. As we do see the boys from 14th who did take out UA. Get into that final one. I felt like if they didn't take out Jesse at that particular moment, he might have played spoiler and taken one or two of them out. And that was the defining moment where I did think that they called it and they won that game. So definitely some great stuff coming through from them. As Ugwe, that man, we kept on seeing action over and over again from him. He was hungry for those eliminations, and they came in at the right time to grab those ones. Wait, this cash, is it D-Cash? Is that D-Cash?
Yeah.
It's him,
Yeah,
Abby.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's him. It's him.
Is him.
Mad,
Is
dude.
him.
Cash is back.
6 eliminations. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players that are back, man. You don't
Mad,
even
dude.
know, though.
Madu. I need to start watching. I need to start watching because if Cash is back, I mean, my guy, my G is back. Okay, so that's great to see. That's great to see. So, anyways, 54 eliminations in this particular game. Great stuff coming through from all of these teams, but for a Mirama game, no vehicle elimination. That's
Yeah, that's actually very, very different. But take a look at the damage. Arab T, you would think they have bought new apron with the way Atarodo was cooking. 11 points, 5 eliminations. I'm pretty much sure he got like 4 out of those. Atarodo is him. He was absolutely next level for Arab T, and what a player he was. But let's not forget, Chicken Dinner is the goal here, and 14 Gaming did that perfectly. Yes, 11, Atarodo, the MVP for sure. 4 eliminations, 700 plus in damage. 25 minutes to the clock, 4 knocks, 700 plus in heals. Yo,
wow,
fire. 700 plus in heals. That's like 7 med kits.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. You could definitely see that my man was obviously just playing those edges, just trying to see if they could get themselves those placement points. And it worked out. I mean, they got into that final circle, Priest.
Yeah, absolutely. They did everything right. Atarodo just carried the game. He was a real Declan Rice for these guys today, man. He was a ball carrier. He carried them into, like, you remember how they got into a solo. It was an engagement. I think it was against Umoja Gaming or so. I think it was against Umoja Gaming. They got caught out earlier on, and that just cost them something. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to. That cost them. But somehow, Atarodo just carried them through to the end. 700 plus to the good. Rizzo as well with that 4-piece against Athlete Game. Dax was in the cut as well for Afro Esports. 4 eliminations all over the place, but 5 for Vibe. One of the from Vibe, he's racking on Solid Army merchandise. So that should tell you that Solid Army have a foot in this race indirectly. But Master Ugwe was the MVP for 14 Gaming, putting them also with that Chicken Dinner. But take a look at the leaderboard, Fire.
Man, absolutely outstanding stuff coming through right there from 14, grabbing 16 points in this game, with RRT following just behind with 11 points, shared with Afro Esports 2 as well, who didn't get a lot of placement points, but they did get 9 eliminations to their name. I think when it comes to eliminations, they probably got the most out of this particular game. And No Rival in 4th place, sitting down with 10 points too as well. So great stuff coming through from all of these teams, and Vibe Gaming with 9 points too in that particular one.
Yeah, they did turn up, and we love to see. But Crazy Weirdos, Invisible Empire, Ragnar, Dream Team once again not finding their level. They're not finding their level. 2 games down, still no points to the good. It's not the best way to look at things at all. Real Esports, Jay's team, Athlete Game, these guys, they need to step up to the plate. They had so many different opportunities to turn things around, but unfortunately it just wasn't the case. But we are going to be looking out for these teams inside of the next game. Hopefully Sanok would provide a better atmosphere for these guys to keep them inside of a better position, give them something to look forward to inside of the final third. But yeah, my eyes will be open. But take a look, top 5 players, Solo is still in front.
Amazing stuff. I still expected him to be in front with all the eliminations he got in the first game. I do believe he got 11 or 12. I'm not too sure, but definitely, of course, Vibe is catching up, not far behind with 7 eliminations so far. Tinubu's also in the mix of things too, as well as he is continuing to see if they can catch up to those massive amount of eliminations coming through right there from 4P solo. My man didn't have quite the game in Mirama, but we'll just probably overlook that. Let's say that wasn't their game, but overall, they're still leading the charge right there with 32 points of the night. They're leading by 9 points so far right now, with NR following just behind. You can see that eliminations is definitely the game, with 22 eliminations coming through right there from 4P as well as 14 from NR. UG is also not too far behind too as well, 11 points away from that first place. UG sitting down with 21 points, and my goodness, look at those eliminations they have, Chris. 15.
Yeah, 15 eliminations, just even one above NR and Afro Esports. These are the teams that are trying to show us why they are here. These guys want to use eliminations and just qualify. They don't want to give anything up. They don't want to put anything to chance. We have no rivals doing the exact same thing in second place, 23 to the good, 21 for Moja Gaming. You've seen it. But Invisible Empire, Dream Team, Harsh Esports, Ragnar, Jace team, these guys need to step up. Right now, as it currently stands, these are the top 10 teams that will be going on into the finals to join the big players. But what a game that was. Miramar brought us some action. We saw 1v4. We saw, Atarodo going all the way, ball carrying from, solo guy engagements, carrying them all the way into the top 2 and still maintaining aggression. That's just something we love to see in players. You're a solo player, you're the last one left, but you still don't let it deter you. You keep on going, you keep on being a menace to society, and that's what we love. But ladies and gentlemen, that is 2 games down, 2 more to go. Sanok is coming up next, so don't touch that down. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's the NPL Fire and Priest bringing you all the action, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. Yes,
Hey
sir.
guys,
Yes,
what's
sir.
up?
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the shows in Nigerian Pro League Season 8. It is the Hamatan Split, and we are in the survival stages. These are the teams that, the Lord didn't bless like that, but, in the MPL will always bless them, give them chance after chance. If you didn't make it in the playoffs, don't worry. League stage got you. If you didn't make it in league stage, don't worry. Super Weekend got you. But if you didn't make it in Super Weekend, the survival stage got you as well. We are here to give you, so surely, you will play in the final. Don't worry. You will play in the final. Shabi's here. You will play in the final. Don't worry. But we saw some interesting games in the last two games there. Erangel and Miramar, 4 portions, gave us a little bit of something. And then 14th Gaming finally catching their flow. They struggled a little bit in the survival stage. They were like they were knocked out of qualification for I think 5 points. They were very, very close. They had one of the best performances in the Super Weekend and in the group stages. But unfortunately, the Super Weekend was just a little bit. The second week of the Super Weekend was just a little bit tricky for them. But they got that chicken dinner, and now they have put themselves very, very close to the guys from 4 portions. And Fire, we saw the leaderboard. They are not far away. They have a big chance of staying inside of that top zone. But Sanok brings something different. Fire. Who do you think Sanok is going to favor here? Is he going to favor the likes of 4 portions, the teams that do love all about the eliminations, Umoja Gaming and the likes, or do you think he's going to favor the likes of UA that love to play a little bit slow and steady, but they will get themselves into that final third?
I definitely think that it's not going to be teams who are playing it slow and steady. Anyone, but anyway, you can sit down and calculate what you like, but they're up to the game right now. This is how all of the teams are falling into their spots as several different teams are already beginning to try to claim their mark right now. Is anyone going to land in boot camp? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But definitely, of course, it's UG. Of course, they're the team who wants to give us an early spectacle. So we're going to keep our eye on that and see who is going with them towards that boot camp region, and it's going to be some fight, Priest.
Is going to be a big fight. I'm really curious as to who is going to be landing inside of boot camp with, Moja Gaming. But it looks like it's real esports, and they are already taking hits. Tinubu would the first drop, and once again, people are in the air. People are back in the lobby already. Princess getting swept away, and that's going to be good night. Real esports will be getting sent back into the lobby, unfortunately. But it is one of those
Wow,
things we see it every
so
single
soon.
time. You see everything. They are dancing. They are dancing on the crates. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. They're even dancing
Oh my god.
in. They're even doing choreography. These guys, man. That gaming giving us a spectacle for sure. But it looks like Arab T and Athlete Game locking horns out the way here. Looks like Creed is going to be getting called out as well. A good trade off. Can Great hold up into the corner? That's a good spray. Tries the other side. Trades off again. Good spray as
Nice.
well. And 1v1 going for it there. But Athlete Game again. Can they coop on? 1v1 going for the push. He's not stopping. He does not stop at all. The DBS unfortunately does not connect. Athlete Game under serious pressure, under serious fire. Egungun unfortunately takes a hit, and that's going to be the good night for him. Athlete Game putting up a serious fight here. It looks like a potential 3-3 and 1v1 going for it again. The DBS swings out. He will trade him up again. And the first shot with the DBS from Great is immediately touched up. And now it's a big opportunity. Mando playing off the back end as well. Creed also getting knocked away. Athlete Game now taking this one over to the side. ADK off the right hand side. And RFT in trouble now. Athlete Game with the first clutch. It's one player left into the corner. And Athlete Game will clutch.
Oh
Arab
my.
T
Oh my.
shooting up their crates. The disrespect is diabolical, but I respect it regardless.
Oh my goodness. For a second, I thought that RFT was going to take that one home, but the shocker came through as I think they didn't play quite well. When they were in a 1v2 situation, they should have made that push all the way up
Yeah,
in that step. But
yeah.
regardless, it has happened. It is what it is. They will learn from their mistakes from watching the clips and then come back stronger in the next game. But right now, we turn our sights onto the other team. We do see 14 Gaming, who were the champions of the second game in Mirama, looking to see if they can go toe-to-toe against Alucard and his boys and see who gets that first entry knock to make that push. Who draws first blood and who can take this one?
It's all about teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work every single time. And take a look at this is the prime example of teamwork. Master Uguay is on the back end and he has not been discovered by just yet. Nando has been applying pressure, but this is exactly what it's all about. You know, the guys from Ragnar, they are wasting too much time and they will be hurt. Uguay pulls up immediately. The first drop is good. And now they will capitalize on this one. Another drop. Maruka, the next one to follow suit. Over to the other side. The chase continues. 24K. Alucard gets the drop on them. And 24K is going to lavish on Francis, and that's going to be the end. A grenade as well. For good measure, Ragnar will be eliminated. They will go out a little bit too early. But 24K and 14th Gaming, they did everything perfectly there. And that is exactly what you love to see. Teamwork. We saw it from Athlete Game just closer. You know, Great was involved. And take a look at Unsullied Army now against Harsh Esports. Now, this one is one for the books. This engagement is going to be one for the books. DYDX is in a very good spot, but can he utilize it?
Man, absolutely amazing stuff that we've been seeing so far, but UA have not had quite the game that they would have hoped for. The Miramar game just slipped away from them, and now they do have a chance to make things up, but they've lost one of the players. SARS is currently gone down. They're in a situation where they're in a 1v4, and they're currently right now on the back foot. Harsh Esports looking to see if they can spot Layla and take away reduce the numbers, but now here comes an opportunity. She tries to let loose when shots coming through. She's got to be quite careful, but gets dropped down with the quickness as well. And now UA will continue to have a game where things are not going quite their way, and they have another body dropped, and it's just left with Jesse right here. Does he dip, or does he try to see if he can get that clutch?
Ooh, well, 48-64 having a very, very, very tough game so far. And that puts things out of perspective for him. And he hasn't gotten himself involved in this entanglement for the entire time of the game. Doesn't move the muscle either, but that will not be stopping him regardless. And Solid Army, unfortunately, will not be getting much out of this. He ducks. Ooh, and he does give away his position. He knows that it's going to be good night now, but that's a good spray up into the corner. Ah, he gets 2, and he might be going for 3, but no, the S12K will shut it down. That was very close from 48-64. Okay. That would have been one for the history books. If Jesse clutched that, yeah, the group chat, they were going to lock the group chat. If Jesse clutched that one, they were going to lock the group chat. Only Jesse will type in that group.
Only Jesse. For the next 1 week, only Jesse. Nobody else. But great stuff, great stuff. It's what you love to see right here on the NPL. Moments like this are what define the game for us. Definitely will give them some momentum going into the next game, knowing I can do it. I can take out 2 players from Harsh Esports. Definitely, I can be a bit more aggressive in the games to come. So definitely, we've done our sights now onto other teams like 4P, who won the first game. They're currently sitting down in that number 1 spot, as we saw during the break, and Solo being the MVP of the game. But right now, they'll obviously be looking to continue on with that momentum, just take things quite easily. They're currently just holding things out. They've got the clean start. Now there's no contest. They've just got to make sure that they get up their looters, gear up for those final circles.
It costs a lot of resources, you know, and the engagements from these teams. We've seen them go back and forth, and this is one of the things I like to talk about. You know, some teams, when they take engagements a little bit too early, it burns down on the utilities, and we've seen this for a fact that going into the final third, if you can keep as much players from your team alive as possible, it would be one of those things that will help you, you know, in the long run. But for now, Vibe in a very, very harsh spot. This is a very, very tricky spot for them to be in. And again, that puts things into a very, very mild perspective as well. Crazy weirdos in the vicinity. Grenades started to come out from Naruto. And hopefully he will be able to launch that one in. Yes, he does. Perfectly tossed
Oh
grenade.
my
And Vibe will
god!
enjoy that one, but they will have to try again. And
Okay.
Kenny will be left to succumb to his injuries. But Crazy Weirdo's actually pulling up to the scene, and K will get a drop onto the guys from Moja Gaming.
All right, so Vive Gaming just seeing that the heat coming through right there from, Tinubu and his boys was just way too much for them and decided to just back up. Definitely the wise thing to do in situations like that. We'll be looking to see if they can, at least get themselves into that top 10 and maybe even top 5 situation. They had taken out one of the players from UG, and it's Naruto who was currently knocked down, but they would decide to just take things quite easy. But now we move on to that zone. You do be curious to see how it shifts all the way. Would it be shifting all the way south, north,
Yo,
and it's shifting south. Of course, it's around Painan, and teams like 4P are currently all the way in that zone. But hold up. We got ourselves a situation right now with foul play being in a bit of a situation. They've got to get those
don't
revives to
go
come
for the
through.
reset, dog. Don't go for
Uh,
it. Yeah, don't go for the reset, man. I'm gonna try that one over to the other side again. Jump shot is good, but that's going to be good nights.
uh,
Uguay again with the clutch. Again, she shouldn't have, sacrificed his team for the reset there, but foul play really struggling right now. They're slipping. They continue to keep slipping away, in all of these games. I think they just need to get a bearing of, their strategy and the lobby just to, advance going forward. But I think that I still think they have something, to offer in the final game.
yeah, absolutely. We'll see how things, continue to pan out for them. I do think that they are a good team, but they've not just been able to capitalize. Maybe they're still learning the works of things as they are they're not a new team, but they've got a new lineup now, so they've got to, display a bit more and continue and not break up again. Okay, that is not the solution. Okay, try to fix the team. It's not about breaking up. Cycle over and over again. But now we turn our sights onto Afro Esports too as well. Another team that finished third in the first game, now getting into the mix too as well. Right here, they're going toe to toe against Great, and you can see that they're trying to make that rotation and get those knocks to come through. And Dax, the man, is trying to see if he can get an off angle and take out a couple of players right here up his vicinity, but he's got to be careful. They could decide to, just converge on his position and take him out, Priest.
Ooh, Great has turned up. Great has woken up. S12K into the other side. First drop is good, but it's not enough to get the job done here. Dax has to try again. He's low on HP. He does get dropped away. Athlete Game have turned things around. First drop again. Dago sprays onto the right-hand side. It's a 1v2, and he sprays again. Tries the right-hand side. Doesn't connect. Great with the clutch. Great is great. And yet again, he will pump the shotgun into the great crates of his enemies. Athlete Game will turn things around, and this is exactly what I said. He just needs to get involved. In the Miramar game, Great was not involved, and that is why they struggled. Now he's been involved twice, and they have turned up. Athlete Game on fire, and that is exactly what I wanted to see. And now it looks like, unfortunately, Jay is going to be caught out there. And looks like it will not be advancing any further. More pressure from Master Uguay again, trying to peek in a little bit, but Forimuk will be dispatched perfectly with ADG. That is going to be good night.
Oh my, that was one of my favorite teams right here today. UG getting taken out by another team that has been absolutely outstanding. 14 gaming, but now the boys from 4P have woken up. 419 currently gone downstairs. Just Solo and Broman who are left within the game. Skinny has been sent back into the lobby too as well, and has been eliminated from the lobby. And they will be looking to see if they can get that revive to come through. Wait, what are two UGs? Anyways, I'm probably seeing things. I'm probably seeing things.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, they share similar team
Similar.
tags.
Okay. So I'm not seeing things. Yeah. Okay. So UG is still in the game. Okay.
Ooh, well, they might not be in the game for much longer. Because if 4 Portions have anything to say about that one, they are in a very precarious spot. Pim with a grenade just over to that corner, tries to bounce it off the walls, but Solo is wiser and he puts himself into a better position. Go think about that one again. Roma with his own grenade trades off, and that's 2 bodies in the air. And Umoja Gaming in major trouble. Pim as well, the last one left. The pressure continues to mount. And Vibe as well, trying to hold that one off, and he will try, almost getting his head absolutely torn off. Tinubu will not be able to rise with the powers of corruption, unfortunately, as Solo will send him back into the lobby with the Joker M4 laughing in his place. But yeah, this romance photo goes hard though. His aura, I can feel his aura from that picture. And Solo unfortunately spoke too soon. 4-1-1 will give him the 4-1-1, gets him knocked away. But Four Portions have the defensive line of the compound and it will work in their favor. And I don't think Hashi Sports can breach here unless they have multiple angles of entry.
Oh, that definitely is a question. Harshly Sports coming into the mix of things too, as well as UG looking to hold on to their life in this position, coming up against both from 4P and 4P being absolutely aggressive. And it does look like all the aggressive teams are going toe to toe against each other. 14 Gaming also in the mix of things too, as well. They've got a whole bunch of eliminations. They're already in double digits. They've got 11 to the name as all the teams are beginning to settle around them. Dream Team, one of those teams too as well that are OG teams, but they've not been able to step things up a notch. Will this game be the one where they turn things around? We'll get to figure that out in a couple of minutes. They've got great around them too as well as 14 Gaming, as the zone is about to make that shift, and that's exactly what is done. If DT can get themselves into that building in the zone, I feel like they might just be able to put something up.
But that is if 14th Gaming have anything to say about that one, as Storm will take a straight shot of the DBS straight to the head. Great tries again, but unfortunately this time he will be overwhelmed. And 14th Gaming will continue to mount the pressure on as well. Another grenade sent over to the top side as well. We'll pack it in. Master Ugwe continues to mount the pressure. 12 eliminations for 14th Gaming, but Dream Team have a better advantage with the numbers, and then that could work in their favor as well. But Devil is not going to be so lucky, as he will be getting swept away one time. And that grenade moved his vehicle to the side. That was how diabolical that nade was. Dream Team will hold on, and they will feast off this southern position. It will work in their favor going forward, but again, they also have to be very aware. 14 Gaming, what a drive-by, what a pull-up, 24K, passing to the corner as well, but unfortunately will not hold on. But Master Ugwe as well tries to hold on, peeks some into the left-hand side, tries to circle back again. DBS versus DBS, crash versus crash. S12K switches over, Sad, tries the right-hand side, and unfortunately the DBS will reign supreme. Master Ugwe, for a reason, 14th Gaming will stand on business.
There's no way they lost that. Nah, bro.
A pull-up. That was nasty work from 24K.
Bro.
He pulled up. He said, no, I'm going to pull up, and he did.
Bro.
And he stood on it. 14 eliminations for 14th Gaming. You got to respect it. They are started to cook again. And that is what we love to see.
Man, someone came to your house and just laid it down on you right there. Like, how did they lose? No. I need to go back. I need to watch that again. Okay, I won't make any assumptions. Let's just say I didn't see what I just saw. I watched that again because bro. Okay. All right, let's just focus on this game. 14 Gaming being absolutely outstanding. Dominance. They've still got several different teams within their vicinity. As Vibe Gaming is putting in the heat too, as well. As you can see, Vibe getting that knock onto Ugwe, and Ugwe has now been gone down. It doesn't look like he has support quite close to him right now, as 24K is right underneath that particular position, and it looks like the boys from Vibe Gaming are just going to be circling around once again, just playing it quite safe, and they're in a 2v1 situation, so things are pretty even. 4P's got 419 in the game. He's trying to get in from that zone. It's already doing a little bit of damage to his body. He's up against Ling Ling, who quickly seals the deal, and he can now turn his sights onto the last player right there from 14. The question is, can 24K seal this one as he gets that knock to come through? And he might just be. It's a 1v1 now, Priest.
Oh, that's a big move, Vibe, unfortunately, getting caught out, and ADK will steal that one away. Athlete Game may just get the chicken dinner here, but Ling Ling will be going for that pick, and he might be getting dropped off, and ADK knows he has to make the push. Ling Ling tries to circle back, plays off to the left-hand side. Vibe in trouble now, 1 HP. Vibe playing behind the rock side, and ADK tries his best to circle back again, but he might be getting caught. And again, he sways, bends and trues into the left-hand side. The DBS, and can he clutch? ADK for Athlete Game, and he tries to peek into the left-hand side. The corner as well. Vibe trying to hold on, but he's using the shot, and ADK will clutch. Athlete Game, chicken dinner.
Vibe, come on, man.
I told you, don't sleep on Athlete Game. And they stood on it. They stood on it.
Nah, lovely stuff.
Played exactly what they should have. ADK was him through and through. Chicken dinner Athlete Game. And that is how you make it happen. What a performance. What a game. And again, all it takes is that moment of grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. But ADK, Mando, and Great were on fire. 12 eliminations from ADK, dog.
Man, that man took this game single-handedly by the neck. My goodness, 12 eliminations. You'll be curious to see what that means overall. We'll see that pretty soon. But we've got 64 eliminations within this game, 64 knocks. Great game so far. And in a game like Sandhawk, where you usually would see some of this, vehicle eliminations, at least one or two, we didn't see any. So it looks like no one's taking that risk at all within this particular game. They're not making those rotations. We'll see if things change up. But 8th game, of course, and 14 Gaming being the two teams that were absolutely guns blazing in this one. Both of them got 15 eliminations each, and you can see that damage being absolutely crazy. At some point, I thought 14 Gaming Priest was going to actually take the game home.
Yeah, I mean, 14 Gaming, they played everything right, potential for a back-to-back chicken dinner. But, Sanok just doesn't give you the leeway to play that way. I respect the fact that they went at it. They played exactly what they wanted to. Fortunately for them, there was a chance that they could have gone on chicken dinner, but ADK just wasn't having it. He sacrificed Great. I saw that play. They switched up. He played behind and allowed Great to hold up the rest of the guys from Dream Team and a bunch of other teams coming in from that hillside. It worked to perfection, and that is how you know a team that has started communicating. That's how you know a team that has started to figure things out and understand each other, understand the play style. But 24K was absolutely next level for 14 Gaming, but ADK was that next guy for Athlete Game. Great as well for Athlete Game. They were absolutely diabolical in that final hit. Master Ugwe also putting in that work, but player 411 for Harsh Esports also putting that work. But again, you have to look at the individual brilliance coming out from two of these players when they play side by side. ADK and Great, we saw their combination. Master Ugwe and 24K, we saw it next level. And again, you gotta respect it. 25 points, Athlete Game. What a performance that was.
And great stuff for the boys from Athlete Gaming as well. And what that means for them is that they seal this third game of the night with the winner chicken dinner and getting themselves 25 points. Like you've seen, 14 Gaming also trailing not far behind with 20 points. They got 15 eliminations to themselves, as well as 4 portions also as well, continuing to grab those points in third place, getting 10 points from that game. Harsh Esports too as well, having what I would say is quite a better game, and they got themselves 10 points too as well. But what that means overall is that the top players of the night is still my man Solo, who still has 16 eliminations to himself, but not far behind is that man ADK. Coming into this game, he probably was not even in contention at all, but now he has 12 eliminations from just a single game. Something in this man has lit up finally. But just in number 3 and 4, it is 14th, 2 boys from 14, 24K, as well as Master Ugwe with 9 eliminations of the night, as well as Vibe. So Priest, just take us through the overall leaderboard.
I mean, couldn't have said it better myself. 4 portions still in the lead, but the lead has started to dwindle a bit. Athlete Game have catapulted themselves into the top 3, but they are tied on points with Umoja Gaming for 29 apiece. But Umoja Gaming still with 22 eliminations. You already know these guys, they know what they're playing, they know what the strategy is, eliminate as much as possible. But for the time being, No Rival still in the cut there with 23, Vibe with 22, Afro Esports with 20, Arab T, and the rest of these other teams are struggling a little bit. They're really struggling. Arab T, Harsh Esports, Unsullied Army, Dark, Crazy Weirdos, Foul Play, Dream Team. I mean, I would not expect to see Dream Team all the way down in 14th. This was a team that was topping the leaderboard for Group Green, week in, week out. and they were trading blows with 14th Gaming. But take a look at the disparities: 37 to 5 points. It is just, I don't understand what's going on. Devil was absolutely cooking during the league stages in Group Green, but I don't know what's going on with Dream Team this period. Hopefully they snap out of it by the next game. But Ragnar, unfortunately, still haven't been able to find their footing. Rio Esports as well. Jay, they are doing good. They're not too far away though from that top 10. They're just 5 points away. I mean, that 10th position is going to be very, very interesting to see who's going to snatch it away. On Solid Army, Dark, Crazy Warriors, Crazy Weirdos, these guys are all locked in. Very, very close points. 1 point between all of them. But again, I'm excited. I'm seeing more teams, step up to the play. Athlete Game, what a performance from them, and I've loved every minute of it. But Erangel up next. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm expecting a very crazy and wild game. I do think that 4 portions will be lit up for this particular game. We would love to hold on to their number 1 spot, so they can now see different teams beginning to catch up to the points that they have. So the question is, will they be able to step things up once again and grab that winner chicken dinner and consolidate their position in that number 1 spot? We'll find out soon, but for now, we'll move into highlights, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
The match is about to start.
From PS12, now on the Monday, is ready to move that. Now the War Machine, Devil against Hyper. He needs to clear that hill. The boys in yellow. Hyper finds him, shuts him down. And 340, 10 more seconds through that door. The oil money team, are they going to make history? Very first land, very first win. 347, 348. Now the contest. The boys in through, no way through. And they are going to hold it down. So S are your champions.
All right, guys, we're back again for the final game of the night, and we're on to an around go game. We've seen so many different teams just pop up so far, but at the end of the day, it has been 4P who's come out on top. But there's several other notable teams too as well, such as 14 Gaming as well as UG, who have been popping off. But Skitty and his boys have been absolutely outstanding. Remember, they've been champions of one of the splits of MPL in the past before, in case you don't know. And this time around, they are showing that they can come out on top in this survival week 2 as well. So let's see how things go down early on within this game. You can see that they are looking to pick their spots. The parachutes are out, and the battlefield is open right now. As everyone will be scrambling in for loot. It's moving all the way in that southern region from Lipovka all the way to that region around Ferry Pier Primos as well as military base. So the teams are looking to pick up their spots. They've got their gear, and they will be looking to get into great spots within that zone. So we'll be curious to see if they do choose to pick risky spots, especially since it's the fourth game of the night, or they will choose to, take things quite easy. All the way in Milton, you do see the boys from RG holding up a spot right there, as Fronis and his boys are taking things quite calmly, as well as the boys from 4P as well, who find themselves alone. UG is going all the way towards that region around Pochinki, and of course Vibe Gaming doing the same thing and heading towards that region around school. So we'll see how things continue to play out, as well as the boys from UA. Um, Also, who are around that vicinity. We might see some early plays coming through right here, as the boys from No Rivals do have themselves quite occupied together, and they will be looking. It screen's like shifting way too fast. I can't even see who that is with them right now, but we'll know in a couple of seconds as the shots will be let loose, and we're just waiting to see who gets caught in the open and gets that first knock to come through between these two teams. It's all about this one moment. They're looking to see if they can pick their spots and pick their shots, and Mash his boys, who are quite experienced in this. NR is in quite a situation right here as they're getting surrounded, as Hamoud and Co are looking to see if they can take them out, but definitely leave it to Quexa to get one or two knocks. If anyone's going to get that one knock or is going to get into an early skirmish, definitely will be my man Quexa, as he is one of those players definitely you can count on. There's also Dark Gaming, who's in a mix of things, but we mix of things right here. We turn our sights onto Harsh Esports as well, who are going toe to toe against the boys from UG, and Jay and Co are also around. So there are two teams that bear the name UG, by the way. So I'm not sure I know what the name of the other one is, but I'm going to do my investigation.
Jay's
I've missed a
team.
lot. I missed a lot. Yeah, that's Jay's team. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the difference between? Are they like the same
No,
clan but
it's
two
just a
rosters?
tag thing. It's just a tag thing. Jay's team's
Okay, okay.
their tag is actually UGG. I don't know why, but I guess a new team. They weren't thinking about it that much, so here they are. They didn't know they would get this far, but they have. So
Is
it's
that
just
the
one of those things. I think.
JJJ, like that's J or a
No, no,
new
no, no,
J?
no, no, no. This is a new
Okay,
J. It's
okay,
a new gen, new
okay,
gen,
okay.
new J, new gen. But right now, Dark Knights are hustling, and 24K will put them out of their misery. Frostino is going to be the next one to follow suit. And Master Uguay picks up where he left off. 2 eliminations to the good of the Rub. And that is an unfortunate turn of events.
Yeah, absolutely. Uguay finished starting this game like he finished the previous one and getting two quick eliminations to his name, and is already beginning to, be absolutely outstanding in this one, and crazy stuff so far. So I don't know. I don't know. I love games in Erangel, because you usually, especially when it finishes in Erangel, usually we see teams just be absolutely guns blazing, and just like that's exactly what they're deciding to do. As Hashi Sports is taking quite an early fight, and there's also NR who are in a mix of things. So just too many fights to follow within this particular game.
Yeah, looks like no rivals getting a little bit of a trouble, a little bit of a troubling spot. Their rotations have caught them very, very lacking in there, but hopefully It doesn't cost them too much. Unfortunately, Athlete Game couldn't make it into the lobby. Most likely going to be due to internet issues. It's going that is really hurtful after the game that they just had. It's a morale downer. But it is what it is. Nigeria for you. But Jay's team looking very comfortable here. Harsh Sports, I think they would want to make this push. That would be the best play for them if they can get angles, better angles around this entire area. That would put them into a very, very strong spot, very strong position. But take a look at that. Into a little corner there. Wow. Well, he did miss all of his shots there. That's going to put things into a hard knock and a hard life for Jay's team. Into the first drop, takes a couple more
Ooh,
shots. Super J
okay.
is going to try again into the other side. Surely he goes for it,
Ooh,
but unfortunately,
no,
he went in guns blazing
no.
without a plan. And 411 will dispatch him with the quickness. Foreign Mark has to play behind as well. But that will put things into very strong perspective for him with a grenade in hand. If he can launch it perfectly, we'll get the job done. And it does, actually. That's a very good grenade. If he had two, things could have gone a little bit more differently for them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But crazy stuff right there, as we did see how she was just repelled the attack that was coming through right there from UG. One team's mistake is another team's opportunity, as they do find themselves in quite a great position and spot. And there's also a potential for a third party that might be coming through. But Nezo is fighting back. They're being absolutely aggressive as they do manage to get one knock to come through right here. They're going through for that elimination.
Ooh,
And it
click,
does look like
click,
Harsh's
click.
spot.
Wow. Nothing worse than hearing click, click, click when you're trying to shoot, man.
Okay, so the two teams are currently evenly split so far, as UG as well as Harsh Esports have taken out one each, and they currently are looking for who's going to get that second knock. But I feel like Nezo has a great part to play in this particular one. If Harsh Esports are quite aware of his position, they should probably isolate him and look to take him out of the game. But we might see something going down between 419 and Nezo all the way across on that particular corner. Who wins that fight might actually be the deciding factor for this particular game.
Yeah, big deciding factor over to that northern side if Nezo is discovered. But it doesn't look like 419 has the angles on him, though. Things could be looking very interesting for them. Looks like Quexa will be taking a hit, getting knocked away 4 portions on the offensive again. And looks like it is going to be Umoja Gaming this time. We did see Solo get eliminated, and they will be trading off again. Pim peeks off, switches immediately to the DBS, tries to crack the shield there for 419. And it is Lala trying to find a way through there. First shot over to the other side. We'll try again. And that is a perfectly launched grenade from Skinny. Will suck the air out of that entire area. Naruto is going to think twice immediately. Lala gets pulled out. And he got lost in the source there. Berlin peeks out again. Roman peeks out as well. Takes a
Oh
lot
no!
of damage. And it
Oh
is
no!
Naruto with the wrap
Oh
around.
no!
And Umoja Gaming will send 4 portions back into the lobby again. 4 portions will not be running away with a day one finish, courtesy of Umoja Gaming. The power of corruption, Tinubu at its finest. And another shot with a
Power
straight
of
hit.
corruption.
Eric again turns his back to the opposition. And that's a beautiful turn. Goes for the clutch. Why did you go for the finish? Switch of the weapon again outside. Eric goes for the
Oh,
clutch.
come
Again, he goes for the
on!
thirst, and that will hurt him. But unfortunately, that is all he needed. He just needed the points, and the points did come. But again, he tried to go for the flush.
Oh my God,
Just didn't
guys, please,
lead out
you
to
have to
anything for him.
clip that statement there. Power of corruption. That place is crazy. No. Someone has to clip that statement. Power of corruption. That was crazy, but great gameplay coming through right there. I feel like they should have gone for UG should have gone for the clutch there. But anyways, they probably had their just their reasons. And at the end of the day, Hash Esports winning that particular one, and they they managed to stay alive within the game. But that's all moving all the way towards that southern region. As you can see, Novo and military base is where things are probably going to end with this one. A lot of teams will be looking to cross that bridge, and a lot of skirmishes are going to happen pretty soon. There are a couple of teams who already occupy that region right now, as well as looking to cross over.
Yeah, you know, we did see the guys. I think I saw the guys from Arab T also making a rotation over to that southwestern side. Military base finish in game four. It's cinema. I love to absolutely see it. And it looks like Vibe will be on the receiving end of some shots over to this side as well. It looks like it's Afro Esports that's the ones that's trying to deal with them with the quickness. Blessing, spotted out by Dax there, will be getting closed out. Sad, spotted as well. He's low on HP. Surely one shot is all it takes, and that will be good night. Afro Esports starting to find their rhythm here. 3 eliminations to the good. Dream Team again falling to the pressures. I don't know what's happening to Dream Team, man. These guys were cooking during the group stages. I don't know. During the league stages, these guys were on fire. You know, Devil was doing a madness. He was MVP,
Hmm.
MVP, MVP.
Hmm.
But now it looks like, everybody don't wise up, man. They just don't wise up to their antics. You know, just one of those
But
things.
you
The
know what?
NPL, the teams will wise up.
You know what I'll say, Priest? I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't watch the group stages, right? I'm just coming in and I'm watching the stages right now. And what I'll say is what you described about Dream Team, and I mean no disrespect, okay, to anybody, but that sounds like Dream Team.
I mean, no disrespect, then proceed to disrespect. Fire, you don't come now. It's 2025. Fire, it's
No, no,
2025. Can't
no,
be
no,
saying
no,
stuff
no,
like
no, no.
this,
But
man. You can't be saying stuff like
I'm
this.
saying that
I mean, no
is
disrespect. Then
what.
he proceeds to disrespect.
No,
Don't
no,
worry,
no,
they will
no,
hear
no,
this.
no,
They will
no,
hear
no,
this on
no,
the
no, no,
stream.
no.
They will hear this on the stream. Somebody should play this for Dream Team, especially Storm. Somebody should play this for them so that they'll hear this. Hear what Fire said.
No, no,
Fire
no, no, no.
said,
He's my
"That's
guy, and
that's you guys.
saying
You
it.
guys are
I'm saying it
unreliable."
with
Is what he's
all
saying.
love. I'm saying it with all love. I'm saying it with all love. But you know what I mean. And I'm sure everyone will know, know what I'm saying. You know. But anyways, let's move on. Let's concentrate on the game. We still got 7 teams within the game so far. You can see that the crazy weirdos are trying as much as possible to see if they can make their rotations into that zone. Jesse, who gave us that highlight, that moment where he took down 2 players and he was almost in a situation where he could get that clutch, might get into a situation right here with the boys from AE. They're pretty close to each other, and he's got to contend with God and his boys. Let's see if they can ambush them and get a knock or two while they're making the rotation. God pulls up into that vicinity. It looks like they're scouting around, trying to see if they can find a position to hold for now. And Jesse, just hearing those, cars just rotating around, is just waiting to see if they come into their line of sight and find 1 or 2 victims.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Afro Esports, they're surging around. They're looking for a chink in the armor of Unsullied Army. Not necessarily Unsullied Army. I think they're just trying to take, hold of that position. And here comes Nando. Pim gets caught out. The
Oh my
DBS,
God, the
unfortunately,
dancing.
no match for the AUG. Nando gets the drop on him. Naruto and Berlin will gather up their resources to hold on to that corner again in the
Oh,
open. He relied a little bit too much
UG.
on the S685, but it's no chance. They stand no chance against 14th Gaming. Berlin gets run over, and that's going to be the end for Umoja again. Umoja will not find themselves in the final third, but it's a good game for them regardless. And now it is all eyes on the prize. But take a look at what the leaderboard is looking like. It is not, it is very, very tough. It is very tough right now. You know, Hashi Sports, Arab T, all of these teams, they now have the opportunities to climb up into a better spot. Unfortunately, 14th Gaming have found their rhythm and they have started to cook once more. We've seen them play like this. This is the 14th Gaming that I've seen during the group stages. They just had a little bit of a stumbling block in the Super Weekend and it cost them into the finals. I'm pretty sure it hurt them to have to play this survival stage. It really, really hurt them because they put up an amazing performance in the first Super Weekend and in the league stages, in the group stages as well for both weeks. But unfortunately, they just couldn't be consistent across the board and they just slipped out of that top six. But now, they are starting to find their rhythm. 37.7 eliminations already in this game, and it's just phase two of the circle, and we are down to 6 teams. There's a lot of eliminations that have gone down here. Now is a matter of who's going to take the chicken dinner. Afro Esports have been on a roll here. They've got their players up. They've got 4 eliminations. Most of the teams that are live right now all have all of their players up except for Harsh Esports.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll see how things continue to, pan out. But my money is definitely on those boys from 14th as they've taken the game by the neck. For a second, it looked like 4P was going to finish this particular day with that number one spot, but they've taken the game by the neck, especially when they took out the boys from UG. And if you want to be on top of the leaderboard at the end of the day, that's exactly what you need to be doing, taking out other teams who are vying for that same spot that you want. So it looks like they're probably going to finish this one on top. Even if Priest they get taken out right now, I still feel like they probably would still be on top.
I also think so. But now it's a matter of how strong they finish. Their morale is very, very high right now. There's a big chance for them to turn things around. There's a big, big chance for them to, stamp themselves inside of this game and handicap, for the most part, most of the other teams that are trying to fight their way up. My own concern is that top 10, that bubble space, Unsullied Army, Crazy Weirdos, they are all sitting in that bubble. Arab T as well. If you take a look, ninth, 8th, 9th, 11th, 12th, all of them sitting in that spot. Kesh has to be careful though. He's driving around a little bit too much. 419 might have a drop on him as well. And they are in a very, very dangerous split, and he's going to be getting dropped off. Hashi Sports could be taking the initiative. It would be ideal for him to crash into the house, and he will find his way inside, and we'll go for the final third. And then take a look at that. Player 411 running out in the open, and he's going to get hurt immediately as well. And that would be the piece de resistance. But it's a big chance that Kesh will be sent back into the lobby here. And that will put things into perspective for 14th Gaming. Uguay on the other side, trying to pack it in. Afro Esports also coming in from the hillside position. 419. You can see the opposition outside. And it would be ideal, but it looks like 14th Gaming, they will crash this party. Yes, they will. 24K pulls up to the cut, and he will be getting exposed. He's not careful. Master Uguay almost getting the drop on him, and that will be a clutch play. 14th Gaming will hold on. 8 eliminations to the good. Harsh go out in 6th.
Man, absolutely amazing stuff coming through right there from 14 Gaming. The way they played that was quite well, having the guy on this in the scout position, just watching that building, giving them some feedback, as well as just trying as much as possible to see if they can make that push and save their last player, keep the numbers up while they're going into that top 5. So great, amazing stuff coming through. You can see the boys from Crazy Weirdos making the rotations, and now we'll be going up against Jesse from Unsullied Army. Now we can up behind him and try in a 1v situation if he's able to drop at least one of them down, but will be taken out. That was quite a risky situation. He didn't have any help there, and he was just outnumbered in that position.
Yeah. Numbers advantage plays a key role here, and we're starting to see that. Crazy Weirdos, unfortunately, will be losing one, potential for losing two as well. Unsullied Army and Arab T, all of these teams have their strategies, and it looks like it is starting to pay off for them. Unsullied Army starting to creep up and increase their numbers, and they are looking very comfortable. They had a good rotation from that southern side of the military base. I think it's working out with the way that they are starting to play this slow and steady. They are starting to creep up. But, the likes of 14 Gaming, they've got 8 eliminations. They have been on fire for the most part. And they are trying to dominate the entirety of the zone. And they will be most likely running into Afro Esports. Now, this is one of those engagements that will be a big game changer. 5 eliminations for Afro Esports. They are ready for the fight. They are ready to take it to 14th Gaming, but now it's a matter of positional awareness. Can 14th Gaming get into a better spot here? Here comes Kesh, plays off into the south, grenade already in hand, 24K just up front. Chris plays behind him as well, and Nando plays even farther behind. Afro Esports could be under siege here. 14th Gaming creeping up slowly but surely. Chris circles back again, keeps the angles into the open spaces. K circles in again, and unfortunately, they will be having an accident like it is Nollywood, and it's going to be Layla that falls out of the vehicle, but unfortunately, cannot be getting finished because of the terrain. And this decision of going back for the finish could cost the guys from Crazy Weirdos this game.
I swear, because just any moment now, if the boys from UK can provide that cover, they could actually take them out. Crazy Weirdos taking quite a risk, but that need might just be exactly what they need. As well. They can't decide onto UA, but
Ooh.
now exactly just like you said, that's
Yep.
going back for
Yep.
that finish will cost them, and that is exactly what has happened. Quite easy one to predict as the crazy weirdos will get taken out of the game by Unsullied Army.
On Solid Army playing everything perfectly there, playing as a unit, playing together, and now the play zone has shifted up onto the northern side, and it is going to be very, 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 very prominent for Arab T. They are already settling in from that southern side. They've not been able to secure any elimination, so a chicken dinner would be the best result they can get. But Afro Esports could be standing in the way of that, as well as the guys from 14th Gaming, even on Solid Army. All of these teams have secured eliminations, and this is what this is what it does to you, Fire. When you don't have any eliminations, all your players are alive, but you've not gotten into any engagements yet. You've been rotating and rotating and rotating, and you found yourself in the final third, but with no eliminations, and all the other teams around you have gotten up to 5, 6, 7, 8 eliminations. That puts you at a disadvantage mentally because you've not fired your gun, you've not hit anyone yet. So that makes things a little bit more challenging for you. So Arab T will have to dig very, very deep in here, and hopefully that will yield something for them. Because right now, Unsullied Army have a drop and a pipeline into that final third even better than they do.
Off to a good start as they do get one knock to come through. It's on the side for Layla now. Layla's quite in a sticky situation. She will get dropped down to as well by Mr. Atagungun as they continues to be absolutely outstanding. Dice get it. Dwight DX gets in one elimination through as well and turns aside to try to get into that zone. UA feeling the heat as the body's just been dropping over and over again. Jesse goes down to as well, and UA is pretty much in a sticky situation. They're about to get knocked. My man, get to the zone. Why are you trying to get that elimination? Oh my god, what are these guys doing?
It's all about the greed. It's all about the greed. 1v1 spins the block, trying to get some more intel on the ops right there. And it looks like Afro Esports will be succumbing to their injuries. And closer and closer, this game starts to look like it belongs to 14th Gaming once again. And Arab T will be spinning the block once again, looking for a position inside of that zone. The Blazing has shifted away. And here comes Egungu again, tries again, the right hand side, spins around, gets the information, and SWAT will bail out and succumb to his injuries, and that's going to be good night for him. 1v1 over to the other side. Uguay decides to get a piece of the action as well, and it is going to be good night. Uguay once again. Master Uguay is on fire. MVP shouts already coming through. Dax with the final blow, but Nando is the one to send him back into the lobby. 14th Gaming are leaking. They are leaking bullets all over the lobby. They are drizzling all the shots on the opposition, and now Arab T getting chased down, I believe, by 14th Gaming, one after the other. Can they find a position inside of that zone to make something happen in this final third?
Man, Chris, I'm really scared. I'm not sure if they're just lighting up right now in Survivor or they play like this surprise to you. Wait, what?
1v1 with a clutch. Oh, that's a beautiful grenade, but unfortunately just a little bit too shy outside. Unfortunately, Atarodo takes a hit. DDS shot into the corner. Surely he has to come outside, and he already takes a hit, and that's going to be the end of the road. 14th Gaming with yet another chicken dinner, standing on business 10 toes.
Man, absolutely amazing stuff coming through right there from 14 Gaming. I mean, I was asking you this question, like, how did they do during the group stages? Is this new, or you've been seeing it coming?
Yeah, they have been this consistent. They just had a really rough patch in the Super Weekend. They just had a really rough patch in the Super Weekend, and it cost them. That's just what happened. They should be in the finals, but it just caused them in the Super Weekend. They just slipped up a little bit, and they were punished immediately by some of the other teams that qualified into the finals. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But this is more like it from them. 14 eliminations or 13 eliminations, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, big plays for 14th Gaming once again, showing us exactly why they are one of the best, if not easily one of the stronger teams inside of the lobby right now.
All right, definitely, as well as Nando's and Master Uguay and 24K also putting in the work, and of course Cash too as well, providing support for his team. Amazing stuff so far. As we got 55 eliminations within this particular game, and this time around we saw those regular eliminations coming through. We did speak about getting those in Erangel, and it was quite an impressive game. But speaking about impressive, 14 Gaming getting himself 13 eliminations in this game, going up head to head against the boys from Afro Esports who got six to themselves. And you could just see the dominance coming through right there from 14 Gaming as they finished this one in with a great
In
amount of
grand style.
eliminations. I mean in
Yeah.
grand style, exactly. The words just slipped my mouth there. In grand style. And Master Uguay being the guy who was the MVP of the game, Priest. And so is this a guy who has been in the scene for a while, or is he someone who has just stepped things up in this particular season?
I mean, 14 Gaming, they have a penchant for cooking players. They've been doing this even with
Mm,
24K, 98K as well. They were just on fire. They have a lot of strong synergy between themselves. I've seen Uguay
okay.
in and out of the scene for a couple of times, and he has been very consistent. But again, you have to give it to 14th Gaming and how they play. It ties into much more of an individual's ability to create something out of thin air, and Master Uguay has been the leading and driving force behind their playstyle. So yes, it is also one of those things we tend to look out for when it comes to how they perform. Dax as well, Nando, 24K, these guys next level top performers, and we gotta respect it regardless.
Man, amazing stuff coming through from them. You can see the boys from 14 Gaming finishing this one with 23 points, definitely sealing their number one spot of the day, snatching that one from 4P in the final game of the night. For some reason, it was for everyone watching, it looked like 4P was going to actually snatch the games, and from the first game to the second to the third, they kept holding that number one spot, but 14 Gaming just was too consistent for everyone. Afro Esports 2 as well, doing quite well for himself in that second spot in this fourth game of the night with 11 points, as well as Arab E. And Arab, remember, I mean, they still did well, but I feel like if they're a bit more aggressive early on, instead of just getting to the final circle, get a couple of those eliminations, even if they're just scouting around, they could find themselves, up on that leaderboard a bit more. Like their strategy is okay, Priest. Like, they find themselves in good spots, they're getting into those final circles, but I feel like they still need a bit more eliminations before they start making the rotations.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. That is something we noticed today about their play style, the strategy. We've seen it time and time again. But hopefully, they will advance into the final third and do better, in tomorrow's games. But there's a big chance that more of that will come. But Solo still in front with 2,200 in damage points. Master Uguay just one elimination behind him with 15, and then 24K as well with 12, and ADK with 12 as well from that amazing Sanok game that he had. Berlin all the way out there in fifth with 7, 1,500 to the good. But now, these are the top 5 players. These are the MVPs. They are all vying for a spot, but 14th Gaming have taken it leaps and bounds, 17 points clear of 4 portions. Moja Gaming in third with 34, and Afro Esports in fourth with 31. As it stands, Athlete Game in fifth. Unfortunately, they did miss that last game. Who knows what they could have done? But Vibe in 6th with 28, RPT in 7th with 23, sharing it with no rivals. On Solid Army in 9th, and Harsh Sports in 10th. Again, so much to play for inside of that top 10 spot. Dark, crazy weirdos, Dream Team. I really hope Dream Team snap out of this, because 7 points out of 3 games is absolutely diabolical stuff. Ragnar, Rio Esports, Foul Play, these guys are yet to stand up. They are yet to turn things around, but hopefully they will, in tomorrow's games. But today I have had fun. I have seen, amazing performances. I've seen 14th Gaming, Afro Esports, 4 portions, Athlete Game. All of these guys have turned up the heat, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for us tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I do think several different teams will want to claim that number one spot back. When I mean several different teams, I mean 4P, who has fell through finally in that last game of the night, and 14th Gaming capitalized on that and took that number one spot. UG also is in the mix of that. There's three teams just fighting and battling out for who is going to claim that number one spot. We'll find out tomorrow when we come back for the rest of the games. For now, it is bye bye from us. Great, lovely games and great play from all the teams. We'll catch you guys same time tomorrow.